Oh my god, am I back? Am I back? I disconnected for a while. I'm gonna refresh my chat because I don't know if there were more messages down there. I can't see it. Sorry, guys. Okay, we don't know that much about Egeria, to be honest. At least not in terms of time and stuff. Remus's death, you know, anymore. You established Fontaine's law. Yoshina has willingly followed Egeria, and the strongest from travel to Teyvat to follow Egeria's command, connecting everyone in the world. The barriers created Egeria as the primordial sea's new heart. Heard. I'm skimming through the wiki page right now. Splendor of Tranquil Waters. Okay. I'm about to take a look at that. I'm looking at the Vorokasha's Glow artifact lore right now. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything on Egeria or Fontaine. Okay, I can't find any solid info on, like, at least the timing of it, but I am pretty sure, at least, like, because Egeria. Oh, is it like a bold assumption to make that to say that Egeria at least took over Fontaine? And okay, we know that Remus died, Remuria ended, and then Egeria took over. I think it's reasonable to say that was at least during or before the Archon War, right? Fall of Remuria. And then we have Egeria's rise. Hi! Yeah, I'm a lore streamer, and I'm just trying to work out a timeline for Genshin because I'm bored. Yeah, I'm just bored, and yeah. I've also been doing like a shit ton of research, so it's like I might as well start piecing the things together, at least in a logical and chronological way. First moon dive for rise likely. If I'm correct about this, then it should also mean it was the end of of a Remurian cycle, right? Okay, to be fair, this doesn't necessarily have to be before the Archon War. It could happen during the Archon War. It's just like it has to have been. I think during or before the Archon War. It doesn't make sense to be after because, well, in that case, Remus would have been an Archon, and that doesn't make sense. No, actually, he would have never ascended to be Archon. Celestia would have never let that happen, so yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, before I disconnected just now, like, a while ago, how did it take me this long to connect the cycle of Kron Aria to Conria? I was always like wondering, like, where did the name Kron Aria come from? And then it's just, I'm an idiot. I talk about Conria like all the time, and I also talk about the Samsara cycles all the time. I'm disappointed in myself, okay? So if I again, this is like a giant chain of events, which if I'm correct about one thing and I'm correct about like a few more assumptions, and like that suddenly pieces together everything. And it would take a lot. I'm pretty sure like most of the timeline is just gonna be this. It's like, okay, like logically this thing has to happen before this, right? Doesn't really make sense, even though I don't have proof. So yeah, it would be like realistically, or actually no, I shouldn't. The arrow shouldn't be like this. It should be like this. Kron Aria, yeah. Hi, yeah, sorry for the disconnect. I don't know what's up with my network. But yeah. I was always wondering why, like Remuria made sense because, like, Remurian cycle made sense because Remuria, and, well, it was kind of always implied that Natlantian cycle would be related to Natlan. It's just like now I kind of figured it out, even though I am still kind of confused whether the Nazis-Synchron Ordo was wrong or whether my understanding of the Natlantian cycle is wrong, because it's like it was very quite literally written in the documents that it was talking about human civilizations, and like obviously the researchers could be wrong because, well, Teyvat doesn't really have a complete history. That's what we're doing here. But yeah, like the Natlantia civilization was mostly dragons. Though they do, I guess they eventually kind of, like, they partially lost to humans, partially was because, like, they kind of gave up and surrendered to the humans. It depends on which character you're talking about, but yeah. Kron Aria. I'm thinking about what, like, the first half of Kron Aria cycle means in terms of Conria. Because Conria is destroyed, but I'm starting to think, like, the cycles aren't just talking about that one civilization. It's named after them because, like, maybe they're the most prominent civilization, or they were the most, like, impactful, or the best representation of what was happening at the time. I highly doubt that the Natlantian cycle was just about Natlantia. Yeah, and it's like, we can't just ignore everything happening in the rest of Teyvat, right? I think Gurbat kind of has to fit in. Gurbat, and I'm pretty sure there's some other ones that I can't name off the top of my head right now. There are some other civilizations during like this period, this 4,000 years, that had to be relevant, you know. Like Gurbat was tied to King Deshret, and like though he didn't die, it was pretty much all the precursor to what was happening in, like, it was a big part of what happened in Sumeru. It's funny because I keep thinking about Economia, but like it's a topic that I keep wanting to avoid. I don't want to go into Economia yet. Yeah. Okay, what do we know about... The reason why I'm so fixated on the Samsara cycle specifically and the Descenders recently is because these are like really big categorizations of the history of Teyvat, and they really help nail down like... what am I trying to say? Really helps us like put into perspective the events and timeline of certain things. If the cycles is, and it's a big if the cycles is something that Celestia created, like, or at least like that's how they categorize it. No, actually, part of me am still kind of convinced that at least the end of each cycle was caused by something done against Celestia, or at least something done to Celestia, or something that like went against Celestia, and then Celestia had to just wake up and then deal with the humans, which is usually basically just wiping them out. I'm still pretty convinced in that theory, because I think it's pretty much confirmed that in both Hyperborea and Remuria, at least for specifically their civilizations, they tried to steal Celestia's power and then eventually got wiped. We don't know too much about Remuria and how this happened, but I am also pretty sure that the Great War of Vengeance is tied to that. It's like they seem like really separate events, but it was a description. Wait, how do I connect these things? Oh, I remember now. Okay. Okay, this bubble. Or I'm just gonna circle it later. The Great War of Vengeance, Great War of Vengeance. Okay. This is a relationship diagram. It's a really, really complicated relationship diagram, how I ended up with this conclusion. With this assumption. Eternal Moon. Moon Death. Eternal Moon's death led to a flood. This was in teaser, by the way. This was in the Genshin. This was in one of the. It's just a teaser a teaser Genshin posted to their official channels, and then I'm pretty sure, according to Nervalet's according to Nervalet, or one of his lore thingies, what do you think about the siblings' end? I think that way we will end the samsara. I don't have strong feelings about that right now. Maybe I'll get to that after a bit. I want to finish establishing the end of the first era first. I want to like look at. Okay, we know nothing about how Natlantean second cycle ended. We barely know how the third cycle ended, but we do know a lot about the first one. So I want to examine that before we look at like, at least like firstly where we are in the Kron Arya cycle, how that relates to Conria and the rest of the nations. And I think there is right now, based on like just off the top of my head, the pattern I'm seeing is a civilization rising up against Celestia and then eventually getting punished for it. And I think it's more like obviously we have the Abyss Order, but they seem less focused on like trying to take down Celestia than at least compared to the Tsaritsa and the Fatui. So I think it's a bit more likely that the Fatui and Tsaritsa would be the one to like cause the end of the Kron Arya cycle. Wait, where am I going with this? Oh, sorry, I don't have TikTok because it's banned where I live. I can't use TikTok. Yeah, not unless I don't want to go through it's a really tedious process of trying to get it, so I have never bothered. Oh, I had a theory ages ago when I was looking at the Traveler, and the way Johnny described them, I think it was a witness. Traveler served as a witness to Teyvat, and it got me thinking, like, why a witness? And what does that mean in terms of, like, we can't be affected by Irminsul? I think if somehow basically everyone we know on Teyvat, all the humans, got wiped out by Celestia, if we failed the war, then, like, theoretically we could bring them back if we could use our memories like that. It's a very remembrance thing. I don't know, to be honest. It's just a weird thought I had ages ago. But yeah, I'm really, as of right now, I'm really uncertain about like our sibling and the Abyss Order's role in this. They seem a little bit more like focused on rebuilding Conry at first, I guess. Oh, okay, bye-bye. Yeah, have a good day. And the first era. Wait, what was I thinking about? Okay, what do we know for a fact? Second Descender came, Nibelung wasn't here. Second Descender possessed a boy, and she saw all the stuff Celestia did, and like she's not quite happy with it, and then basically like, did a lot of stuff with the first angel, and then first angel stole Celestia's power to create life, and then I'm pretty sure Celestia got mad. We don't really know much about that. And then apparently there was a Great War of Vengeance. Okay. Angel. Curse plus nail. This we know for. These are the things we know for a fact. FOTDG is Finale of the Deep Galleries artifacts at Lore. Basically, Skirk artifacts. Skirk artifacts. Yeah. How did I connect it to this? Oh, I remember now. Okay. Flood. Heavens and earth. Yes, this was the line I used to connect these things. Okay, it is very vague. It said that when the eternal moon, I guess, died. I forgot the exact word they used, but the heavens and earth were thrown into chaos, and visually we saw the flood. So it's like, sorry, heavens and earth, not humans. Humans were on earth. The heavens and earth were thrown into chaos, and then that was subdued with a flood. And it was the flood I used to connect to the end of the first era and the Eternal Moon's death, because the only major heavens and earth event we know of. I mean, okay, I could be wrong. It could be referring to something else, but like the timeline makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I forgot where exactly I saw that. I saw the connection between Noctri and Hyperborea, but like it's there. It's somewhere there. It's pretty sure this is not confirmed. Also, like, even if it isn't confirmed right now, I'm pretty sure it will be confirmed in Noctri. Just give it like 2 more weeks. Yeah. Yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, that's how I essentially connected to the Great War of Vengeance. Which, the Great War of Vengeance... I remember it is connected to Nibelung Return. I'm sure this is connected to Nibelung's Return. This is me like trying to figure out how I even came to this conclusion. I don't remember, bro. Nibelung's Return, and then yeah. Okay, the last connection I need is I need to remember I need to figure out how I got from the end of the first area from the first no sorry how I connected the end of the first era to the Great War of Vengeance, because well, firstly, I am pretty convinced there would have been a war anyways, because Celestia usually doesn't, just from a pattern's perspective, they don't usually take action that quickly. They only really start acting when it escalates. So it usually does result in a war, which is what we're gonna have eventually in our current cycle. Hmm. You know what? I might just search this up. Timeline. Okay. I don't like searching up things in the wiki, by the way. It feels like I'm not taking things too seriously. I should just be looking to the game for official lore, right? Because this is put together by other lore theorists, and it's like, this is a lot of speculation, by the way. And it's like, sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't, by the way. Sometimes I think they're not looking at things like critically enough. God, I don't mean to be mean, but also like, it's like, these are not just facts, by the way. So yeah, it's doing a lot of things that I'm also doing, but I just want to make sure my sources are there. Old World. Okay, this first section was basically just in Skirk's artifact lore, and then oh, it was before Sun and Moon. Okay. Yes, I'm pretty sure Second Who Came can be inferred as directly as a second descender, and yeah, she's interesting. Okay, yeah. For Sun, Moon, that's how I got the connection. It was a second descender. Oh my god, this is a lot of things that like we know about that I'm like yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense to all be like in basically the same event. It's just a lot of cause and effect. And this is actually most of these things we learned like relatively recently, I would say. Or at least I'm finally piecing together things we learned from ages ago, and I'm like, it feels weird to suddenly say like, oh, we know all this stuff. Yeah, they're actually just one thing. this question mark would be Netlantian cycle. And I'm pretty sure it's also here that Natlantia civilization ended. Yeah, sorry about them. I'm playing the music on through Spotify, and clearly I don't make any money from doing this, so yeah, I can't pay for stuff, bro. If I had the money, I would be paying it towards my education or something. But yeah. I guess I just deal with ads. I have an app on my phone that I use to listen to music that doesn't have ads, but I don't have it on my iPad, so oof. Should probably start putting this in a second page, right? I thought I've had just now is from the Nazistic Kron Ordo. They wrote that we are in the first half of the Kron Arya cycle. The thing is, when did they write that? Actually, I have to check. I have to check whether when they would have written that, because if it was before the Cataclysm, that might have made more sense. But if it was written like okay, no, sorry. If it was written after the Cataclysm, then I wouldn't have anything to say. I would just take their word for the fact that we are in the first half of Kron Arya. But if it was written before the Cataclysm, then, well, actually, I was gonna say, the Cataclysm might have actually marked the halfway point of Kron Arya. Because, I mean, honestly, it was a pretty big event. The fact that you would divide it into two sections, like first half and second half, I feel like there would have to be like a solid reason instead of just like time based. It's a cycle, so I feel like it would have to be like a midway point, like event, to have marked it, which obviously could be something in Not Cry, but I'm more inclined to think that if it was written before the Cataclysm, then the Cataclysm might have been the halfway point of Kron Arya, and whatever is going to happen in the upcoming Snezhnaya and beyond parts of this Teyvat chapter, that might mark the end of Kron Arya, which would make sense for the Cataclysm to have been the midpoint. Yeah. Actually, I should write that down. Go Cataclysm. I mean, in this case, then, if that is the case, then it would have been 1,500 years between. Oh, the wiki page. Yeah. I don't know what to do with that. I hate them. I hate it whenever I'm doing research and it's like half the page is just ads. Yeah. I can't even read that stuff. Also, for some reason, my computer hates the wiki pages. Sometimes my screen just doesn't work the moment I open a wiki page. It's so weird. I just I'm using a monitor, so my monitor just black screens, and basically my display just disconnects, and I have to reconnect it to get it to actually see what's on it. Yeah. It's I have no idea why these weird things happen. It's just something about using wiki that I don't know. It's weird. I think I'm finally gonna have to bring up Enkanomiya, and it's just that the time within in the Hyperborea cycle has to have been more than 400 years, probably even more. In Hyperborea, by the way. Yeah, in the Hyperborea cycle. Okay. This is pretty comprehensive, right? I'm pretty sure I'm still missing a lot of stuff. But yeah. Like somewhere in this section, which is very empty, by the way, like there was gods. Yeah, gods. Gods became a thing. I'm not sure where I got this from. This might have just been like things I picked up from like various voice lines, or I guess the manga, and Vanessa's like, I feel like gods are just ascended humans, and then it has something to do with visions. Okay, so for Venti does say, I think visions are like recognition from the gods, and like you technically have the ability, or I guess possibility, of ascending to godhood if you have a vision, but what part should I start like deep diving into first? This is like really this is already like heavily simplified, and then yeah. Should we look at what's happening right now? Present time, I guess. What has happened? Okay. Actually, let's do Cataclysm. Why not? Where do I start? I know this is Cataclysm, but I'm just going to include everything like relevant to around that period. So let's say this point in the middle is the actual Cataclysm. Then things would have happened. No, but like Cataclysm is a process. There's like a time period. Okay, before Cataclysm began. It was around this time. Okay, I'm going to get into Traveler stuff now. Yeah. That's basically my entire job. It's like, I'm like, I kind of got invested in the lore. I don't know how I got invested in the lore, but I feel like most of the time I don't know what's going on, and I feel like most people also don't know what's going on. So it's like I might as well be the one to dive into it and try to explain it, because I'm not like learning stuff and then like explaining like vague theories to you guys. I'm trying to learn with you guys. And yeah, I'm also like extremely open to making mistakes, I guess. I have made a lot of mistakes before. Just in the lore I post, I literally had to correct myself last night from like basically info I said like 2 days before that, and yeah, I think it's fine. I am very honest in that case, I guess. No, but like seriously, I have heard people say like I should not be so honest when I talk about making mistakes, and it's like yeah, I make them. I take the blame for it. Um, what's happening in my group chat? Sorry, with my friends, I have no idea what they're talking about. Never mind. Uh, sibling. I'm very confused ever since I saw this like a while ago. Okay, I established a timeline for what happened. What happened with Traveler and the Sibling a while ago. Okay, I just gotta dial my brain back like 2 weeks ago. What happened? What happened? This is from. That was my conclusion coming out of the newest Archon quest. Okay, I gotta think. I have to think. Y'all, I'm gonna change this into a Traveler timeline. Fell into Teyvat from somewhere. I don't know. I have. No, they explicitly said it was from another world. That's what Traveler. Sorry, that's what Paimon quoted Traveler on. I feel like this is important. Okay. You can't see the yellow. Sorry. The reason why I use these colors is I usually write in dark mode. I use like dark gray paper for my notes. Half my notes is usually questions. It's just I spend a lot of effort into answering them recently. That's why there's not so much of them. Yeah. I mean, half of theory crafting is just asking questions. That's it. I have really strong feelings about information distribution, especially recently. Help survive from another world, and then our sibling woke up first. Royalty, and then they became Connery royalty, and then Dear Death happened, which is basically, you know, the a space and time for your conquest. Sorry, I literally just answered my question. It has to be on Teyvat. I'm just gonna keep this here for a while. And then Deirdre gave our sibling the key, and so they came to find us and woke us up. Going down is the order of events, by the way. I could just turn this into a timeline, but I guess. They woke us up, and then this was already at the beginning of the cataclysm. Yeah, it was around the Deirdre time that the cataclysm began. That's why I wanted to put this line here. Woke us up, tried to escape Teyvat. Teyvat, and then wait, could I be wrong about this? Genuine, I'm questioning how right I am about this. Okay, what do we know? Realistically, what do we know? Travelers said they woke up before us having lost their memories. And then eventually they regained their memories, and Deirdre showed them the key. That's why they came to find us and woke us up and tried to escape the Teyvat. They actually said that. So no, I am right. I was wondering whether I got kind of confused because every time, oh my god, I've been through this so many times with my brain. Yeah, basically, both we and our sibling, we woke up 2 times, and both times our sibling woke up before us. It's weird. But the first time it was like a hibernation chamber in a starship, in like a spaceship. Hibernation chamber. Second time was, we don't know what Celestia did to us. We don't know, Asmodee, actually. Yeah, sustainer of heavenly principles, aka Shade of Space. I'm just gonna bracket Asmodee here, and then Asmodee is Shade of Space, and then again our sibling woke up first. Which led them to journey Teyvat and create, and they joined the Abyss Order, and then we woke up. This is an extremely simplified version of the timeline that we went through, but I'm gonna eventually put this all over there, all up there. This is the thing about the timeline. Oh my god, okay, you know what? What's another way to do this? I could sort like characters and nations and like, I guess just groups of people who kind of do their own thing into different colors on the timeline. That's kind of where my original idea was at. I don't have that many colors, y'all. I could use more, but how many colors can I realistically use? Okay, what if here I marked Cataclysm began? Okay, it's time to erase this because we answered a question that is frankly not that important anymore. I am pretty sure they became Conria royalty, and then Dear Death happened. So this will have to be after that line. Our sibling woke up first and became Conria royalty, while we were still hibernating. So this happened before the cataclysm, and then what likely caused the cataclysm was sinners. What color should we use for Traveler and their sibling? I feel like blue is very fitting. Okay, I'll just use blue for Traveler, and I'll turn this blue as well. Why not? And I know they're very associated with yellow, but I don't want to use yellow because I'm on white paper. Okay, and then I'm gonna need more colors. What does Conria feel like? I'm feeling like dark blue, almost like a cobalt, and then, or maybe a, like dark purple, I guess. I'm just gonna use dark purple. Ooh, I love this deep purple. It's so dark. Can you tell it apart from the black? I can barely. Should I go for a slightly lighter purple? Okay, this is a bit better. Okay, Sinners. Sinners took the abyssal power and then did stuff with it, which is one of the big causes of the cataclysm. I forgot where that was, but I am pretty sure, yeah, that happened. That is confirmed, right? Yeah. Okay. And like at least I'm pretty confident that like it at least happened. Whether it was the main cause of the cataclysm is another problem in itself. But I think in general, actually, okay, I guess the main cause of the cataclysm was just an amount of abyssal attacks or corruption or just abyssal stuff going on in Teyvat that was getting too much for the nations to handle, and so Celestia had to step in. No. Okay, no. So I guess in this case, Sinners taking the abyssal power wasn't the main cause of the cataclysm. I believe it was the influx of abyssal power, the amount of abyssal stuff in Teyvat that caused the cataclysm, while the Sinners taking the abyssal power and abusing it to the point where it was harming other people. It was firstly harming other people, and not even people within their own nation. It was harming all of Teyvat. Blaming on Rhindaughter, by the way. That was a big reason why Celestia took down Conria specifically, because of that. And also the fact that they were getting like really technologically advanced. And I'm starting to think, like, yeah, there's a few possibilities here. No, like, but like, which is the cause and the effect? Because the abyssal power reached out to the Sinners, and the Sinners took it. But at the same time, we also know that there was a lot of abyssal like attacks on the other nations, Inazuma, Sumeru, the Withering. Well, no, actually. The Withering was forbidden knowledge, mostly from Nibelung, because Pyro Sovereign couldn't banish it because he got killed before he could finish it. The first cutscene and Asmodee was... Yeah, they were trying to escape Teyvat, not enter it. When I say they fell, it was like, you know, that cutscene where we saw like the two shooting stars come down over Mondstadt and Liyue. That was when they fell onto Teyvat. And then something woke up first, became Kari royalty. Yeah, and then we were still in our hibernation chamber when our sibling found us and woke us up. And then we tried to escape Teyvat together. And we were stopped by Asmodee, yeah. And like for some reason we woke up 500 years after our sibling. Oh my god, I'm talking so much my voice is getting really dry. I'm gonna keep adding more colors to my color palette. Okay, I'm gonna use a navy blue. No, actually, I'm gonna change Conria to this. My god, everyone's texting me. Give me a sec, y'all. I'm gonna disconnect my screen for a sec so I can text back my family. Why is everything happening on a Monday morning? Why is everyone working on a Monday morning? Okay, everyone just got back to work, but like seriously. Okay. Give me a sec. I gotta relay a message. I'll be back in a bit. And let me just turn this back on. Okay. I'm gonna change this navy blue. I don't like it anymore. I'm gonna change it to more of a cobalt blue. Okay, so okay, this dark blue is for Conria, and then actually I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna use the lighter purple, slightly lighter purple. Basically, I would say this is like the abyss. The abyss's attack on Teyvat have just increased to a point where it starts to like really infiltrate Teyvat, I guess. Influx of abyss. And okay, what this included was one of these things was that. And then I think overall there was like attacks on were the attacks on the other nations like a result 6.0 live stream? I think yeah, probably. Wait, is it this Friday? I don't think they have. I haven't seen the announcement for it. Maybe have they? Wait, usually they are. Wait, sorry. When is? If I remember correctly, Not Cry is. I should know this. Not Cry is the 10th of September, if I remember correctly. And so yeah, it would make sense for the special program to be this Friday, I think. I'll have to check my schedule. I think I'll stream it eventually. I'm just not sure if I'll stream it like live. Yeah. 29th. Yeah. Okay. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's usually the Friday 2 weeks before the patch update. I probably can't stream it like at that exact time, but maybe I'll stream it like a few hours after that. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm kind of busy this weekend. I either have to stream it on Friday or like I just won't be able to do it until the week after. Which I'm also busy because y'all, I got school. It's my last year of school. Like, okay, sorry. Secondary school or high school, I guess. Whistle power. I feel like the cataclysm, somewhere along the cataclysm, either before or during, like something along the way, there was a. Teyvat lost a lot of its defenses against the abyss, so that's why they got to attack. But like, what was it? Was the weakening of defenses, as I call it, related to like what the sinners did? I think it's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? Because I believe it's like this influx of abyssal power that was what led to the sinners being able to get that power in the first place. Like, they got really powerful off of that. And this probably led to attacks on the nations. No, this is speculated, by the way. This entire section the upper section is speculated, mostly. Heavily speculated. Attacks on nations. No, but like this would be like the exact time of the beginning of the cataclysm. Okay, it wouldn't be before, I think. No, but like, what? How do people like exactly consider the start of the cataclysm? Is it really when the attacks began, or was it like when Celestia started doing stuff? I guess I would categorize it as, I would say the cataclysm began when Celestia started, taking action. This is me asking questions, by the way. Of Conria, like, which was it, or was it like a mix of both, or was it like how they abused these powers, or like what was it that led to the destruction of Conria? Okay, bye. Yeah, have a good day. Maybe I'll see you on Friday. I'll see. Cataclysm began. Again, okay, so if we look at this specifically, then this would be when it would be around when this happened. I'm pretty sure this was shortly after that. These are like, I guess, simultaneous events during the cataclysm. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. I'm gonna have to open up a lot of lines here. The upper part is gonna be the other nations. Or actually, I'll move this down a little. Abyssal attacks on nations. Cataclysm began. Okay. The thing is, we don't know the timeline of things, and frankly, it doesn't particularly matter. But I'm gonna have to... There's at least 2 big categories here in terms of nations. I'm using black for like just general stuff. Conria, and then there was some Archons went to Conria. Makoto went first. I don't remember the others. Makoto went first, and then A went. And then Makoto died. And then this was, okay, fight against Abyss. I don't... What am I writing? Oh my god. I don't really remember too much about Liyue and Mondstadt at the time. In Inazuma, there was the what tree? sakura tree, sacred sakura. So the sacred sakura was planted while A was gone, and then she came back, and then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it was always there," but it was planted in like present time, as I call it, even though it is like a bit in the past. But let's just call it present time. Sacred sakura was present in present time, except it was, and then it was like, no, it was planted by present time A into 500 years ago because Isdaroth. I'm pretty sure Makoto made a deal with Isdaroth that let A plant it 500 years into the past. Well, actually more than that because the tree would have to grow, but yeah. That's how the tree was always there. And then, okay, I forgot who else went to Conria. Oh my god. It's been so long since I've touched on the Cataclysm. I'm gonna use this green for Sumeru. Like, that's light purple is Inazuma. This light green will be Sumeru. How do I spell Rukkhadevata? Oh my god. Can I just write like GLR, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? I'm just gonna do that. I'm sorry. I don't remember how to spell Rukkhadevata. Every time I've had to put it in my captions, I've just copied it from somewhere else. I don't know how to spell it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata died. By the way, forbidden knowledge is just, as far as I understand it, it's abyssal corruption in the Irminsul, which is just like a databank, pretty much. Irminsul, okay. And then Ejiri also died. I don't exactly remember for what. I saw it before. Oh my god. Is it insane to like start like literally looking through the videos I make from before to like, look up info? This sounds insane. I'm just like I'm just looking at myself for sources. God. I'm just gonna check the. I trust the wiki on these very solid details from a while ago. It's just more vague stuff that like I don't trust the wiki on. I would have to actually check the in-game sources on these things. Okay, Jirio was among the several gods who ventured to Tunigi Hollow to combat the forces of the Abyss, spewing forth from the rift there to Tunigi Hollow. Okay. Eventually, it's the corruption of the development. A burden. Okay, yeah. So it was one of the bigger attacks. Right, I remember now. Okay, that's pretty much all I remember. There's nothing more to add. If there are more details, I don't know them. Okay, let's go into Natlan. I hate that I am messing up the colors I use for my notes that I've used for like ages now. It's like I'm just messing them up because I keep using different colors and stuff. Okay, obviously I have to use red for Natlan, right? Yeah, I was thinking about the ley lines, but no, that was from before the Cataclysm, and that was like Xbalanque's doing. Xbalanque made the deal with Renova. Oh my god. My brain is constantly lagging. This is the thing I do when I make videos every day. This is what goes on in my head. I have no idea what's happening. It's constantly dots and then okay. Wait, was it during the Cataclysm? No, actually, I might be wrong here. Sorry, I might be wrong here. Okay, I don't need this anymore. It's a lot easier to search up specific characters when they have little lore compared to just like searching up Natlan. I just want to check like the time of things. I believe Xbalanque was like before this, right? Here now it shows Xbalanque the grim future of Natlan ahead. Undeterred, the new power can bargain with the rule of Jess to borrow her power to establish rules that would da 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 da. Okay, yeah, no. This was not related to the Cataclysm. Okay. Yeah, I'm right on this, at least. Wait, I want to check my weakest page. remember if Malika sending herself into the future was like during or after the cataclysm. I think it might have been after. Wait, who was Archon during the cataclysm in that land? Oh yeah, 500 years ago. Okay, I'm right on this. Yeah, I remember it was like close to the time of the cataclysm, but like I'm not sure if it was during the cataclysm or not. My computer is crashing on me. Okay, few things considered. My VTube studio is crashing on me, and oh no, I might have to eat lunch soon. But honestly, I don't. I kind of want to continue doing this. The thing is, I think this might happen after the cataclysm. I'm not sure. This might have been like, was it during or after the cataclysm? I want to check voice lines for this. Oh my god, my screen mirroring is gone. I'm gonna have to restart this. I want to see what like the Archons say about each other, whether I can pull any info from that. As I cannot say I remember stuff about the Archons anymore. I used to obsess over this, but like okay, no, she doesn't say anything. I'm just gonna go see her voice lines, because I think she may have they might have mentioned each other. I had an opportunity to feast with Morax once when I was just be that as it may, I don't believe his story is anywhere near finished yet about Morax. Okay. Oh, okay. Um, she hasn't. Okay, A only says something about Malika, which is good because, okay, I think this voice line pretty much confirms that Malika was Archon during the Cataclysm. I just wanted to confirm that. I feel like it's always been implied, but like, I just want like pretty solid proof on that, and yeah. The Fury of the Archon, the Power Archon, that was said to be the cause. Now I have the opportunity to meet that human once again. Okay, yeah, this pretty much confirms it, I think. So yeah, I'm right on this.